Welcome to another episode of the Get Out of Gaming podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ben,
I'm Alex.
and this is our bi-weekly podcast where we talk about everything nerdy and, well, just basically stuff we want to talk about. You can catch us every other week. We launch on iTunes on Wednesdays and then YouTube on Fridays. Don't forget to check us out. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We have our own Discord server. Join the fun. Make comments, suggestions. We would still love to do a show of nothing but questions from you guys. So,
Yeah.
let's jump right into it here. So let's talk about some of our. I know, Alex, you said you didn't have any hidden treasures.
No, I don't really have anything. The only thing that I bought a game on sale through the eShop, but otherwise that's it.
Yeah, it's been a pretty crazy time. I'm trying to. I told this to Alex. He had a good laugh because I'm going to try and save my money because the house we live in now is great, but we want to sell in 2 years. So it's kind of funny because I told him this and he just laughed. He goes, "You mean you have to save money?" Which I think is even funnier because I'm not going to tell you what I spent today on Amazon Prime. But anyway, let me just run a couple of things that I got. So I own this digitally on PS4, but I decided to get Saturday Morning RPG. It's a limited run. I got it on eBay. I did not pay very much for this. It is kind of corny. It's literally like 80s everything. I mean, you have a Trapper Keeper. But I got the limited run version, which was pretty sweet. I also got, which I've not done anything with, which is not a surprise to anybody. I got Marvel's Midnight Suns on PS5. Have you played that one, Alex?
No, supposedly there was an update though that made it better. So, because there were some issues originally.
Okay, yeah, I got that one, and I was like, oh, you know what? I don't really want to play it, so it was on sale. But the granddaddy of them all is I got the Xbox Series X Starfield controller unopened. Not open it yet. A couple of my kids were like, "Why don't you open it?" I'm like, "It looks like every other. It's like every other controller. We have 3 Xbox controllers. We don't need another one." So, yeah. So I know that was super quick. That's pretty much all I got. It's gonna be kind of slow for a little bit, especially with the holidays coming up. I know it sounds weird saying it, but
Yeah.
I mean, we're mid-July.
Yeah.
Before you know it, I'll be stressing about all the stuff I got to buy for Christmas this year.
Oh man, don't make me stress about that now.
It seems to get more and more expensive every year. So my kids that were little, that bought the little things for them, the cheap things, they now want more expensive things. Like my one son's into Jurassic Park. Do you know how much those toys are?
Probably almost as much as Legos. Like probably just a lot.
They are, and they just released the 96, 98. I don't remember. It was the toys from when Jurassic Park first came out.
Okay.
You could buy an original packaging. I guess they're for collectors, but if my son buys those, he will open those and play with them.
Yeah.
I have it's a ridiculous amount. But anyway, is there anything you've been kind of watching or playing?
Yeah, I've been playing some Xenoblade 2 again. Getting through that. I finally got past the part that I've been stuck on for a long time. That's one of the reasons why I kind of stopped playing it. I got stuck on it, and then I started playing Tears of the Kingdom around that time. So, but yeah, no, I'm enjoying the game a lot. Story's getting good. I am on chapter 4 still, probably near the tail end of, or maybe middle of chapter 4. But I am like 22 hours in. That's also me just messing around and grinding and stuff and collecting things and doing things like that. So I don't know if that's common to be at that amount at this time. I looked it up and it seems to be only 10 chapters for this game, which is less than the previous one. But who knows? But yeah, no, I'm really enjoying that game. I played more Pikmin 2 a little bit. I still have Pikmin 1 on my Switch as well because it was cheaper to buy both of them. But um, otherwise, I'm playing still. I streamed for a little bit again. I got a new capture device, so that was a pain to set up. But once I did, it's very snappy. It's very very snappy, and it's actually better than the previous one. Now that I have the way that's working, there's virtually like no lag at all, and so like the sound versus the sound versus the video, like there's no lag there, which was my big issue with what I was trying to fix when I first got this thing. Um, and yeah, I've been playing Kingdom Hearts 3 Japanese, and it's a fun time. Toy Story World. Um, yeah, so hanging out, with young Xehanort and Woody and Buzz and Ham and Rex and all that. Ham Japanese sounds just like the voice actor for Ham in English, but he's just speaking Japanese. Like he is spot on.
I thought it's such a different view to hear Goofy. You know,
Oh yeah, because he sounds like this.
he seems more serious
Yeah.
that way. Um, you know, but again, I still thought it was pretty good. I watched a couple of Alex's streams. It looks super crisp, like it literally does. Um, so that's, I mean, I didn't think the other one looked really bad, but now watching you do this new one, um,
Yeah,
it
it's
definitely
it's
looks
60
different.
frames pass through and like recording and stuff. So I think that's the thing, is that it's more the frame rate's a lot better. Um and like it even has like HDR and stuff too with it. And so I think you guys are seeing the HDR from it too.
Yeah.
So that's probably why it looks nice. Um but that's mostly what I've been playing. Um what I've been watching a lot of things, honestly. I've been watching Gundam, original Gundam.
Oh,
It's very very good. About 10 episodes in out of 50 some, I want to say. And it's fun. It's a fun time. I've watched the movies, the origin movies, and that's a nice way of getting through the series, because I think it's like 3 origin movies, and they just basically retell the story of the original Gundam just without filler and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, this time I'm actually just watching the series, and um, looks very nice. Like honestly, for a '60s anime, like it looks amazing. Um, I love old animation where you can see like the smudges on the cell, because like
yeah.
there's like parts in like the opening and stuff where you see a bunch of Xeon like forces, or like Zaku's, and they're just like moving from right to left, and you can like see that it's clearly just one animation cell with a little smudge on the side, and you just see that smudge moving with it. I love that. It's so cool to just see
It,
like how things were back then.
it's kind of like watching Transformers when you see people change colors. You
Yeah,
know,
or like Ninja Turtles, like where like watching the old Ninja Turtles cartoon, and they would change colors, or like Raphael's voice would come out, Donatello. Like I love that stuff. I know it's stupid and like it's not correct, but I love mistakes like that just somehow make it in. I think it's really cool to see. Um let's see. Watching 2 other things. I've been watching uh kind of. I'm watching what is it called? The comedy show. I Think You Should Leave.
oh yeah, you were talking about that last time.
So I still don't have Netflix. However, there is a way of watching it by saying I'm on vacation, and then you get that vacation code from whoever it is. And so my device in the living room has Netflix now for I don't know how long, but it has it.
Yeah, they're
Um,
gonna fix. They're gonna. My ex-wife did that. And so, which was weird because I logged into my parents' house. They
Mhm.
got a brand new TV. They're watching no problem. So it's gonna get fixed.
Yeah.
It will at some point.
Yeah. So I've been watching some of that, and like it's very how we've talked about before, Tim and Eric.
Oh yeah,
But the problem is, as the show continues, it gets worse and worse. Like I am in like season 2 maybe, and near the tail end of season 2, and it just isn't good. Like there are some episodes where I'm just watching it and I'm like, why am I watching this?
yeah,
Like this is really bad. Like it's not even funny, it's just bad.
yeah,
And like I understand like Tim and Eric is like that too, and like I've had those instances with those types of shows, or like Eric Andre. Like there are episodes that are just don't hit at all, but it probably hits for someone else, and that's why they just do all this off the wall comedy. um but like I when it hits though, it's hilarious. I don't want to say it out loud because like it's so obscene. But there's the episode where he's on like a haunted house tour. I don't know if you've seen that one. And he's just like they're like, yeah, this is the adults only tour. It's like um so yeah, you can say hell or something, and everyone's laughing. And then like Tim Robinson's character is like, can we say, and he just starts saying these random words. And it's just like, yeah, yeah, there's no filter. You can say it. And he just gets more and more obscene. He's like, have you ever seen these ghosts come out of the wall and they just have like a big boner, and like it's like just weird stuff like that. And like getting very gross and sexual. And then it just like gets more and more over the
yeah,
top. And he just keeps, and he's like crying because he's like, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be uh distracting, or but has this ever happened? And it just gets more and more. It like that one really hit me. That was the last really good one for me. But otherwise, like the rest of the show have unfortunately been kind of stinkers.
yeah. It's definitely like the thing I keep seeing is the. Are you sure about that?
You sure
Like,
about that? But yeah.
or the one we talked about where he tries to open the door the wrong way.
Yeah, that's the very first scene in the first episode.
Yeah, and like he's supposed to like sir, and I was like, it has that quality. At least Tim and Eric, it was the same thing. Like some of them would just be like super funny, and
Yeah.
some of them were just it's weird. Like the I'm gonna sit on you skit.
Yeah.
I mean, I get where they're trying to be funny, but I'm just like I'm totally
There's a
confused.
difference though between like there's a difference though between being weird and being bad. I think
Yeah,
Tim Robinson's I think you should leave gets bad. And whereas Tim and Eric, it's just so weird and out there. And it's like late night television. But like yeah, no, there are weird ones and I think you should leave. But like there are also just ones that just don't hit, and they just keep saying the dumb jokes over and over. It's not weird, it's not gross or anything, it's just bad.
yeah,
And so hopefully like the last season is really good, because I really like that one that people were like reposting with like the Zelda glitch meme where it's like, no,
yeah.
I'm doing something. Uh but yeah, no, that overall, like I really wish that show was better, but well, we'll see. I'll probably still watch it because like they're only 12 to 15-minute episodes as well, so
Yeah,
it's
they're
not
not very
like you're
long.
committing to too much. um I'll say the final thing I've really been watching, I mean, I'm watching random stuff here and there, like Urusei Yatsura and stuff still, but started yesterday. I started Dragon Ball Kai because it's
I
on
saw that.
Hulu,
I saw that.
and I've never watched Kai before. I've only watched Z, I've watched GT, I've watched Original, Super, but yeah, I've never seen Kai before, and it's dubbed only uh on Hulu. and I am maybe a core in like 12 episodes maybe, and I don't know how I feel about it. It's there are weird parts in it where it's clearly animated differently. Like it just all of a sudden like, whoa, there's really good HD here, and the rest isn't. Um, and then there's also issues with pacing, because the
Yeah.
whole point of Kai is that it's not um, there's no filler,
Yeah.
and sure there isn't filler, but you're losing a lot of character development without that filler. And I already noticed that with the Saiyan arc. Like Vegeta, they just defeated Vegeta. Um,
Okay. Yeah.
and they do that in about 12 episodes.
Now,
Whereas in the original series, it's like 18 to 20.
I think this is like, isn't this like unedited? It's a little more.
Yeah. It's uncut as well. So like, yeah, there's blood. They say words and stuff. Like, yeah, it is the uncut version of it for sure. But yeah, there's just issues where the pacing's just off, and I feel like I'm missing character development, because like all of a sudden there's one episode or maybe even half of episode of Gohan like doing training, and that's kind of it.
Yeah.
And whereas the original show would be like, all right, let's focus 2 episodes on Gohan learning how to train and really get to know this kid. Um, it's the same thing I feel about with Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Except Brotherhood gets different later on, um, where it really speeds itself up until a certain point. Because like spoilers for Full Metal, I guess. I don't know. There's certain characters where like you're supposed to feel more for them, and you don't really get that same experience if you just watched Brotherhood instead. Whereas
Yeah.
with original, like there's more filler in there, sure, but there's more interactions with characters, and you can actually feel a traumatic event much greater because of that. Um,
Yeah. And I feel like that really, I feel Dragon Ball Z at least really slowed down for me
mhm.
once it got to the Majin Buu stuff. Like, it was difficult to watch because, when they were showing one episode a day
Yeah,
on Cartoon Network, it was difficult because one episode a day. And so you would watch, it's only like 15, 20 minutes.
yeah.
And you're like, okay, so I watched 15, 20 minutes of nothing. Or like 3 or 4 episodes of training over and over and over again. And it's like they got bored and were like, I don't know what to do. Let's just do this. It's a difficult one to watch, but then when you jump into Super, it's like completely different, you know?
Well, Super has
Um,
the same sort of pacing and stuff as original Dragon Ball.
yeah,
I think Super is Z and Dragon Ball just kind of combined, where it has that really good humor, but then it also has good fighting and cool alien stuff. Um, but yeah, no, I don't know. I'm probably still gonna watch Kai just as like a background show, here or there. But I'm I'm enjoying it because it's Dragon Ball, but it's just way too fast, and I just
yeah,
don't know. Like, I kind of feel bad for people who this is the way that they watched it. Like, sure, maybe they could watch this in like the Namek part, maybe, and then like skip the whole fake Namek and all that type of arc,
yeah,
because that's not really needed. But why are there 6 episodes missing from just the beginning part? Like, I feel like if anything, you shouldn't be skipping anything in that beginning part, because you really need to, I don't know, hammer down like who are the characters, what are their motivations, and all of that. And yeah, it's way too fast. Like, supposedly though, later on in the Boo part for Kai, even I heard like there isn't much cut out. Like, it's mostly just here's Dragon Ball Z again, but with Boo, and it's
yeah.
Kai. I really like the boost stuff. I like the beginning boost stuff. I've gone on record in multiple places saying that I like the Gohan in high school arc because it felt like a real anime. I
Yeah.
liked him being the great Saiyaman. I love that. Just this common writer guy. Um, I liked even like the world tournament, like Goku coming back for a bit and all that kind of stuff. But then once it started doing the Babidi stuff, once they were stuck in Babidi's ship for like felt like 5 episodes,
Yeah.
um, yeah. So maybe they do some of that a little better in Kai. I'm not sure, but yeah, there's good and bad with it, and I think overall it's probably bad. But I don't know. Maybe there are people who really like Kai, but that could also be maybe nostalgia for me. Like I love filler when it's stupid as well. Like I always think of Goku and Piccolo learning how to drive a car. That is not
Yeah.
in Kai at all because it's filler. And it's the stupidest thing ever. And it's so amazing and stupid that they even put it in the Kakarot game. Like there's like a
Oh
mini
wow.
game part where it's like, all right, you gotta learn how to drive a car. And you're even like dressed up in your clothes and stuff. And
Yeah.
like, all right, let's go for it.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I still feel like that was like, I mean, Vampire. And I'm going to show my age. Vampire Hunter D, Akira, um, Fist of the North Star were my first ones,
mhm.
but then I fell off of that because there was nowhere to watch it. And then when they started doing Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Z and Trigun and Cowboy Bebop, I think that's where I got it. So I mean, I still love Dragon Ball Z. I feel like it's been around forever. It's one of the ones that has been around for such a long time, and
Yeah,
it's able because of these some of those pioneer ones. That's why we have a Castlevania anime. That's why we have we have several Godzilla anime. I feel like that's or like even like My Hero Academia. That's why we have a lot of those.
yeah,
So
yeah. Technical difficulties, also known as dogs barking. But
yes, I don't know why they're barking. It better not be a child knocking on the door.
yeah.
I will be mad. No, it's nobody. I don't
All
know what
right.
they're doing. Anyway, was there anything else or
Um, I guess really, I mean, to go off of that a little bit, what you were talking about with the pioneer of like a bunch of older anime coming to the West and all that. Like, yeah, Dragon Ball Z is the thing that brought anime mainstream here, especially that and Pokemon. Um,
oh yeah.
well, because Pokemon had Nintendo, so it kind of got in here, but um, like Funimation solely exists because Gen Fukunaga wanted to bring Dragon Ball Z to the West, and that is the only reason why it originally exists. And now now look at Crunchyroll, I guess. Like
Yeah.
that thing's huge. And even before then, like Funimation was huge until it got bought. And yeah, like if we didn't have Dragon Ball, then we wouldn't have anime in the West
It,
today.
I do want to say it's a rare moment. Um my son did come back again for the third time. And that's what set the dogs off. But my wife was here and she's like, "Hi." And I was like, "You better be careful. I'll just move this camera right over." But I want to stay married.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I totally get where you're coming from on that. I think those are that I it kind of make I kind of do want to rewatch them, but in the same token, I'm like, man, I have so many things on my list right now that I
just watch something else.
yeah,
Bleach is coming. Bleach just started back up again. Thousand
I
Thousand Year Blood War or whatever.
I have it on my list. I haven't watched a single episode. I mean, I'm still behind on Demon Slayer. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
I got
Well, that's on a break for a bit, so like you could catch up to that right now.
I finished the Mugen Train,
Uh
which
huh.
was fantastic.
Yeah.
But that's it. But yeah, like I totally feel like I can catch some of these up. And again, like Winter. I have a lot more time off in the winter, and so that's when I watch a lot of these things.
Mm.
And especially during like when I take break or take my vacation, I will stay up later and watch like several episodes of things.
That's what I
So
did. That's how I rewatched Naruto Shippuden. I did that during my holiday break. It was a fun time.
as for me, I know I've talked about the Mighty Gemstones, which is fantastic. Um, I will tell you right now that it is one of my favorite shows. But another show that I've talked about that got a third season, which has come back from being canceled, Warrior got its third season. It started last week, maybe the week before.
Mm-hmm.
So I've already watched 4 episodes. So good. The influences from Bruce Lee are fantastic. They've they've got a bunch of different storylines going right now. Um, he's seen as somebody because at the spoilers, if you haven't seen it, end of season 2, there was a big fight that broke out in Chinatown with the Irish and the Chinese. And so the Irish just came in literally and just were, you know, hurting the Chinese Americans and just being awful. And so the two gangs worked together. And there's a whole fight scene where Assam, who's like the main character, the one that has the very much the Bruce Lee ties,
Mm-hmm.
he fights people with nunchucks, and it literally looks like Bruce Lee. Uh, I think he does 1 inch punch at somebody as well, which is crazy. But afterwards, you see this painting of him with the nunchucks, literally holding him like Bruce Lee. So third season starts out. It's fantastic. 4 episodes in, still watching Justified. I'm like almost done with season 3. The crazy thing is pretty soon they have a new season starting up. Another show that was on hiatus for a while and just, you know, um, I did get to see a couple movies in the last couple of weeks, which I was telling Alex about. It's rare I go to the movies, and in one weekend I saw 2 movies. I saw the
Yeah.
new Indiana Jones. Definitely go see it. It's fantastic. And I saw the new Transformers. Um, it was good. I don't think it was like the best thing ever. I mean, the last 30, 40 minutes were fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, some different plot lines there, but it was cool seeing like old school things and stuff. But and the voices for the Autobots and stuff like that, um, which is crazy because the ones on the other side that they're fighting are the Terracons, which were real Transformers back then. No one even, unless you watched the show, you probably wouldn't know what those are.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty cool. Uh, what I'm playing, I've been playing Saturday Morning RPG, and of course, I've been playing Halo. I am level 90 for the new update. I found a new mode that's super cool. It's like capture the flag, but it's the first one to capture a flag, and they're on bigger maps, and there's vehicles. So pretty.
Okay.
It's actually pretty fun. You start off with the same guns, so you get the machine gun, like one that's pretty standard for Halo, and a handgun, and there's other weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but it's just like chaos because they're so far away, So I played a couple rounds of that. Other than that, and before Alex asks, Xbox Game Pass announced that GTA 5 was back. I have not downloaded it.
Not yet.
It's such a weird thing. You have to go into the store and you have to pick a version. It's not like on the Game Pass app. It is such a pain in the butt. But again, I don't know that I could play that again for the third time. I get bored with it.
Yeah.
Not to kind of go on a tangent, there was a rumor, and this is strictly a rumor, that they were going to re-release GTA 4, which was an okay game, but the
Mm-hmm.
one that excited me the most is supposedly somewhere there was a leaked picture of Red Dead Redemption Definitive Collection for PS5, which they are supposed to be launching in October, November, maybe. That would be sick. I would totally buy that disc in a heartbeat. Long as it's not broken like the trilogy that Alex told me not to buy, and I bought it anyway and paid $60.
Yeah,
It's
and then we pre-recorded, and you're like, "This is my game of the year." And I was like, Sure. You sure
It,
about that?
I was not sure. I have not touched it since it kept, it was awful. I don't, whoever bought it on Switch, good luck. Um,
Yeah.
I think it's always on clearance now, but Red Dead Redemption was such a good game. And if they offer the online and the Undead Nightmare, oh man, I'm just thinking like some of the Get Out of Gaming crew, the Rad Lads, all doing a match in Red Dead Redemption.
I love Red Dead. I love old Red Dead.
Yeah,
Just playing online and doing stupid stuff. It was a fun time. I never played the Undead Nightmare ever. Because
it
I got out of it by the time that existed.
it was nice because they actually added more guns.
Hmm.
And there was like a better sniper rifle, which was nice. Um, I thought it was a fantastic add-on, and it was like several hours.
Hmm.
But I just remember like pulling into the town and you talking to certain people, and now they want to do like a duel, so you had to do it just right to pull before they did.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. The best part is where your home base was not a 20-30 minute ride.
Yep.
It was a large map, and there was so much stuff to do,
Hmm.
but it wasn't a 30-minute ride,
Yep.
and that's what I liked.
Yep.
Um, so I mean, that's just a rumor. I will not download it on Game Pass. I have it actually. I have it from the Epic Store a year or two ago. They gave it away.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's just not as fun anymore.
Hmm.
But you know what? What did happen today, Alex? There has been a verdict reached with Microsoft versus the FTC trial, and Microsoft came out on top. I have pulled up the IGN article here, written by Tail Lies here, and it says the waiting is over for the decision on the recent trial between the Federal Trade Commission and Microsoft. Judge Jacqueline Scott Corley has ruled in favor of Microsoft, denying the FTC's preliminary injunction, which means they can now go through with the acquisition of Activision and Blizzard, which has been, they have spent their wheels in the money on this. Any other company besides Microsoft would be filing for bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Um, but now we were talking kind of earlier about it. We both have like, I have good things about it and bad. There are lots of titles that Activision has done, which means they'll be on Game Pass, which I have. I would love to see some of the older Transformer games. I know it's a licensing issue, but you can still buy it on like Steam. So that's kind of hope. What are your thoughts on some of this, good or bad?
Um. Yeah. So the main thing with this is cool for people. I mean, this is cool for Microsoft, obviously. It's cool for people who have Game Pass, because that generally means like, yeah, if Activision Blizzard is on here, they're probably gonna put it on Game Pass, since that is what Game Pass is Microsoft's product. They don't care about, as we've learned from this stuff here, they don't care about their consoles. They know that they're losing. They lost the console war according to themselves. They are solely focusing on software and a service, and so that's what Game Pass is. So if you like Game Pass, yeah, they just bought more subscriptions, but at what cost? I don't know how much this is going to sustain them. And supposedly, like Nintendo's gonna get on it, and like they're going
Yep.
to pay and like have access and like get Call of Duty again on Nintendo consoles and things. Um, but it's never a good thing if one company owns everything, and that's
Yeah.
what's starting to happen here. Because yes, they are saying, um, yes, Call of Duty isn't going to just not be on PlayStation anymore or whatever. Um, that's not necessarily true. They could just not put it on PlayStation. They would
Yeah.
lose money probably, um, but most Call of Duty players are. I feel like a lot of people have migrated to PC for the most part, and Call of Duty has primarily been for the longest time an Xbox platform game anyway. Um, so I'm not really sure how much that affects people. It still affects people. It's similar to how like the Bethesda purchase happened, and we um, were told like, oh, don't worry, you're still getting your the next Skyrim or whatever, or like you're still getting your Fallout, um, or whatever. Like not everything's going to disappear, sure, but Starfield exists, and Starfield's only on Xbox, and that's a Bethesda game. Um,
Yeah,
if Game Pass didn't exist, if Starfield, if Microsoft didn't buy them, Starfield would be for everything. I feel.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's good and bad again, but I don't understand why a general consumer is rooting for this because there's nothing for you to root for. Um, it's big company spends money, and you might get some things on Game Pass, but you're paying for it already. So I don't know how much this is actually going to affect things. I mean, I could be wrong. There also is the thing of um, now that this has actually gone through, and it is going through, um, we can get rid of, assuming they're going to, get rid of Bobby, and
Because
do all that.
he's on.
But the problem is, though, Bobby's making bank off of this. I don't know if you saw that. Like, there's another
Yeah,
article where like he's making billions of dollars off of this this win in selling this year. So, um, yeah. So,
their stock as of today was the lowest was like 81 per share. Now it's like 93, 94, and it keeps going up. Activision. So if Bobby Kotick has, which I would imagine his deal with working from them has, stock options, he he's gonna make billions. So he can get fired. It doesn't matter to him. He's already made his money. At first I was more like I really want Bobby Kotick gone for what had happened, and he allowed to have happen. Um, but in the same token, I kind of see it the way you see it as well. But I also feel like Bethesda at one point needed that extra financial support.
mhm,
Their games were doing good and they're doing okay, but now with the backing of this, I kind of feel like it's almost like when Disney buys like a couple of franchises. They bought Marvel and they bought Star Wars within a couple of years, right?
mhm,
I feel like it's been good and bad. We've got some pretty crappy Marvel things. We got some pretty crappy Star Wars things, but then we get really cool things that make sense, like Mandalorian.
mhm,
That happened. Book of Boba Fett happened. On the Marvel side, we got, um, I think there's been several ones. I thought She Hulk was great. We would never have got that before. Uh, you know, Avengers Endgame would never have happened because it would have cost way too much money. You know, uh, almost a rated R Doctor Strange movie would never happen by the director Sam Raimi, of all people, who had, yes, he did Spider Man, but his MO is like horror films.
yeah,
So I look at it like that. I don't think they're going to take it off PlayStation because as much money as they spent in court, what they're going to pay for this, they have to recoup those costs. And the way they're going to recoup those costs is by keeping it for everybody. And I think that's what they're going to do. And if I know before you said that they were asking Nintendo to pay a fee, and then they'll do it. If they ask Sony, Sony's not going to argue and say yes, we will pay your fee because Call of Duty is such a giant franchise. Um,
I don't know. I think Jim Ryan and them could be petty and just be like, no,
if he does, it's going to be the worst business decision.
because they're focusing now on all their multiplayer things, like now that they have Bungie, to do like all of their online shooters, and so they think that they could probably do better.
But here's the thing: is it's an existing franchise.
Yeah, I know.
It's like It's like, hey, I'm gonna do a McDonald's. It's like McDonald's, but it's not McDonald's. Doesn't matter. It it it, it it's not McDonald's. They won't have a grimace. There you go. They won't.
That
They
might be a
won't.
good thing though. The Grimace
I
shake is
mean,
disgusting. Have you had that
oh my
thing?
god, I did buy it because I was like, I want to try this, and I took one sip, and I'm like, nope, can't.
So it tastes like this tangent. Have you tried the new League of Legends not Mountain Dew, Coke, the legendary Coke or whatever? So that tastes, in my opinion, kind of tastes like banana or like a gum, you know? Grimace shake, again, very artificial. Kind of tastes like a weird grape gum. So
It
like
does.
I think that's just the thing now. I think things just taste like gum now.
I was expecting it to be really good, but you know, I was like, oh man, this is awful. And I got like a medium, and so but the
I
thing
got
was
small. I wasn't taking any chances.
the younger kids loved it. I mean, it's just sugar to them. Um, they don't have such experienced palates like ourselves. But going back to the other, I do feel like something is going to be there. What I'm excited for is when they acquired, um, when they got, God, I can't think of it, Bethesda, right?
Mhm.
Shortly after that ended, and they paid them, and it was all good and go. We got a bunch of stuff on Game Pass, which I think is awesome. Uh, we got original Fallout, we got Fallout 3, we got Fallout 4, all on Game Pass, which I think is awesome. And that's going to happen here. They're going to now, as I was reading the article, the one thing they did say, there's no Diablo. It won't be coming to Game Pass. So, um, at least the newer one won't.
Yeah.
Which that's fine. I'm not a Diablo person. I know it sounds like a horrible thing to say. It's just not my cup of tea.
I still haven't played it yet. I have it. I still haven't played it.
Yeah. Uh, I mean, if my situation and I got it and it showed up on Game Pass, I would probably play it. I'm not probably gonna go buy it now. If you play it and you're like, "Oh my gosh, we got to play this together," and we get a squad going, I would buy it. I'm a
I know
PC
Rob, friend of the show. I know Rob is wanting people to play with him, and I think he's already beaten it like twice, probably.
See, and I would roll with Rob because Rob would make me look good. It's because he's
Yeah.
already finished it.
Yeah.
If you say, Ben, hey, Rob, I know you're listening. If you talk to Alex and say, hey, we need to get this done so we can play together, we will totally play
The
together.
cool thing about it, I don't know what he got it for. He probably got it for PlayStation. It's all crossplay.
Yeah.
So I have it on PC. He has it on PlayStation. You'll probably get it on PC as well, I would assume.
Yeah.
Just to make it easier for you to play that type of game. Not in front of the kids.
Yes.
So like yeah, like we could get it working. Yeah, I know other people have it on PlayStation as well, and they love it.
I bet we can get either Spencer or Zach to play with us.
I'm sure Spencer.
Oh, I'm sure he's
will.
got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, tell us your thoughts. Hit us up on Facebook and Twitter. Say, hey, these are our thoughts, or join our Discord, which would be great. Or
hit us up. Yeah. We haven't created one yet. I would assume you're going to create one soon. Are you going to create a Threads account for Get At Gaming?
Oh yeah,
it's so easy. I already did one for myself.
After watching Lamar Wilson move to there, I love Lamar. I'm sorry, his stuff is short now. It's not as long as what it was.
Man, he's gone through so many things. Like I watched him when I was a wee lad, back when he was the crazy tech guy. And then he was like, just kidding, I'm video games. Just kidding, I'm lifestyle. Just kidding, I'm all this other stuff. He's gone through so many hoops, and he just is like now only short content. Good for him.
Yeah, but like I remember one of his episodes, he was super excited because he got this brand new Tesla, and he was showing it off. And he goes, "I don't show stuff off to show it." First off, his house is amazing.
Oh yeah,
but like he got this new Tesla, right? But that's not what got me. Right next to it was a BMW i8. And if you don't know what that is, that was BMW trying to do a supercar that was electric. It's got its issues, transmission. I won't go into the auto part of it. it is the coolest futuristic car you will ever look in.
Yeah.
When you get into it, I have sat in them before. It looks like you are in something from when he goes back into the future and two. When he
Mm-hmm.
goes there, that's what it looks like on the inside. But he had one just sitting there like chilling, like, hey, it's my car. He is one of the people I like to watch. I wish his videos were long again, like they
Yeah.
used to be when I do a ton of open boxes, but they're short. But he went on and said, "Hey, I decided to move to Threads, and this is why."
Yep.
And he made a good point. He's like, "It's so negative out there." My wife moved to one, and so I don't know if I would remove a personal one because I never log into my personal one anyway. Uh, but I think we will. We'll probably move over there,
It's the
and
new
once we
Twitter
do,
at this point. It's nothing but Gary Whitta and Jared Petty just talking. Like that's
okay,
all my feed is. It's just Jared Petty, who I never heard from in like the longest time, and he loves it because like right now there's no negativity on it. It's awesome.
yeah, that's what Lamar Wilson said, and I think also, God, I really wish Jared Petty was on more stuff. I love when he's on like kind of funny and stuff like
He's
that.
starting up his 100 games or whatever. That's starting back up in August. He said his
Really,
podcast thing. Yeah,
I'll have to check it out.
yeah.
But yes, once we do it, we'll make sure to listen on all the platforms. Hey, we've got it there. Let's move on to, I don't have my list now, but we're just gonna roll with it.
Superman.
That's what I thought. So Superman Legacy cast has had some new casts here. I was kind of worried because we're not going to see the normal Superman, but we do have some news. So we've got Nathan Fillion as Green Lantern. Um, let me replay it. He's going to play Green Lantern. We've got let me bring it up here. Guy Gardner
Yeah.
version. Uh, we've also got God, where is that?
Yeah, I mean, I can just say, Hawk Girl is Isabella Merced, and Mr. Terrific is Eddie Gathegi.
I love him as an actor. I don't think he gets enough love. I
I don't know
saw
who
him
he
in that.
is.
So there's that Black Western that is on Netflix, which I'm telling you now, it's literally all really good black actors and actresses.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Obviously, the one guy that lost his Disney contracts on there, but besides him,
Yeah.
it is a fantastic. So he's in that film, but I remember him in one of the X-Men. I think it's X-Men First Class. He was
Okay.
in for a short couple minutes. He got killed pretty quickly.
Mm.
Yeah, so this is starting to turn out a little bit more, and I think it's gonna, once we talk about the next story here, I feel like with James Gunn taking over, it's kind of starting to look better. We've never had a Guy Gardner, and Nathan Fillion is a perfect person to play that character.
So here's the funny thing: Nathan Fillion, for the longest time, it's kind of like where people have been, what's the thing, petitioning for
Mhm.
Nathan Fillion to be Green Lantern, but everyone wants him to be Hal. For the longest time, everyone wants him to be Hal Jordan,
Yeah,
Green Lantern, and like he has been Hal Jordan in a couple of the direct to DVD
yeah,
movies, um, and stuff like that. So like he has been Hal. So to see him as Guy Gardner instead of like Kyle Rayner or anyone or even Hal, like it's funny how there's still no uh, I don't know. It also leads me to believe because a while ago there was going to be a Green Lantern series on HBO Max.
yeah,
So I wonder if anything from that's still happening, and if so, that was supposed to be Hal. So maybe that's why they're introducing a different Lantern here. Um, but it's cool to see Green Lantern. It's cool to see a Hawk Girl and a Mister Terrific, which means like this is Justice League. Like this is the cartoon Justice League right now.
yeah,
And like I don't think I've ever seen anything with Mister Terrific except if it was a cartoon.
yeah. I think it's a good start. I think DC has a long way to go.
Oh, he might be in
Um,
CW, but like still, CW is kind of weird.
yeah, 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 I don't cost on it. But I do feel like this is a good start. It's a good start to get things going. But here's the thing: is I do feel like they need to kind of move quickly.
Mhm.
Um, Flash was an underperformer in the theater, even though Alex saw it, and I don't care how shitty it is or what reviews it get. It had Michael Keaton in it as Batman, so
It
done for
was
me.
such a great movie. You need to see it. You would
I
love
know,
this movie.
I know, but I'm waiting now that it's been in the theaters for as long. It's gonna be streaming here very soon.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if it ends up on Max very soon. To
Yeah.
be honest, my guess is August.
Yeah,
Um,
probably.
and but like that's good. That's a good start. It got, but see, I think it finally hit its numbers where it's supposed to be, but that ends that series and they can kind of start over. Um, and it kind of like streamlines into another thing we were going to talk about with some trailers released today. One of them being the second Blue Beetle trailer. I'm telling you, I was hyped before. First off, they've got our favorite person Miguel from Karate Kid in it, or not Karate Kid, but Cobra Kai,
Mhm.
which done. But the first trailer, what had me is when the suit said I can do any weapon you can think of, and he does
Oh, the Buster Sword.
yeah, he does the Buster Sword there. But as I keep watching this and I see the cast number one that's in it, and it's just this showed a lot more. It showed more of him interacting with the suit and fighting. Um, I'm looking forward to seeing more of this. People that are listening to the audio where we have it kind of playing in the background here to kind of show it. Um, but this is kind of the DC I want. I want these characters like this. But here's my thought to you: it, we've already seen other things happen there. I wonder if they're trying to set it up to do a Teen Titans movie, live action Teen Titans movie.
So I don't think so. Um because Blue Beetle was already in the process of being made before James Gunn even arrived, and it was going to be an HBO Max thing. Um, so I don't think so, but you could, assuming that
Yeah,
this does well. Some sort of Titans something. I mean, uh, Jaime is almost said Miguel again. Um, but Jaime as far as I know, isn't really like a Titan per se. Like he was in Young Justice a lot, but he was more of like an outsider or something like that. Who worked with the League. Um, but yeah, it's just cool, man. It's just cool to see. Well, first of all, it's cool to see George Lopez in a superhero film and just
there
being himself.
there are a lot of Hispanic actors and actresses in this, which I think is great.
Yeah.
I love seeing more of these, um, more ethnicity and more diversity in these films and movies and TV shows. Shang Chi brought in the whole Asian side of it. Black Panther brought the black side of it, and this is bringing the Hispanic side, which Jaime is a Hispanic superhero. Um, so as
One
we're
of the
watching it,
few, one of the
one of
very
the few,
few, and
yes,
thankfully we got a movie of him, which I never thought we would see this.
I didn't think so either. The way DC was going, the thing that cracks me up about this trailer, uh, in the very end of it, with Grandma with the Gatling gun.
Oh yeah.
Yes, you had me there at that. But I love how like I think the kid that plays Jaime, number one, is he's a superb actor. I wonder how much stunt work he did in this because of Cobra Kai. I guarantee he probably did all of his own fight scenes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is going to be great. It comes out here next month. Like it's crazy. It's going to be here next month.
18th.
Uh, yeah, and so
Where?
man, I'm super stoked for this one. Um, and even with the teaser trailer, when we first saw the teaser trailer, I'm like, is that Blue Beetle? It is. I had my doubts with James Gunn when he canceled Ben Affleck. He canceled the Batman, the Wonder Woman, and the original Superman, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I know this wasn't his completely, but he had to have something on like, let's get this done, let's get this out there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like other decisions like he made the Superman legacy looks really good. He's got all these things and it's not just like the popular characters, it's like obscure characters.
There it is.
And that's what I like. Like, I didn't know who, like, when Shang-Chi came out, I'm like, I have no idea who this is. Like, zero.
Yeah. I'm curious. I'm trying to look. Do we know who the villain is? Like, besides like the Scarlet Scarab is there, like
Yeah.
clearly, like the red version of Blue Beetle. Um, I'm trying to see what's his name, because that's Tim.
I mean, there was a lot of people in that trailer.
I'm trying to look it up. Like, what's his name? I can't find him now, which is crazy. Who's the original Blue Beetle? Is it Tim Cord or something? Ted Cord. Ted Cord. That's why I couldn't
Yeah.
find him. Like, I wonder if Ted Cord's in this at all. Because like that's his vehicle. Like, I doubt Jaime has a vehicle unless, like, I mean, his George Lopez isn't Ted Cord. Like, we know that for a fact. But
Right.
like, he's clearly handy and stuff. But yeah, no, I'm very excited for this. I think this is gonna be great. I hope it's great, and if not, well, we'll see.
I mean, I think it's really cool that they're doing all of these. I would love to see. I mean, obviously they have the Batman, right?
Yeah,
Which was great.
I still
I
haven't seen
loved
it.
it. I hope when they do the second one, they bring a Robin. I don't know who would play Robin. It doesn't. It could be like the first Robin. It doesn't need to be Damien or anything like that. But I would love, and I would love for him to go against the Court of Owls. That'd be sweet. I mean, obviously he's gonna go with Joker, but because of the ending. But yeah, I think James Gunn's bringing it there. The other trailer that came out of nowhere, and I watched it, and I'm like, I don't even know what this is. It's Godzilla -1. So it's a teaser trailer. It's 45 seconds long. Did you watch this yet?
Yeah,
I mean, it seemed more like Shin Godzilla a little bit.
I mean,
But
it's Japanese. Like, it is the first one since Shin Godzilla, so there is
yeah,
that.
it felt more scary, I guess. And like when we have our Godzilla films here, it doesn't seem scary, right? Um, he just seems like a brawler. But this one definitely felt it had a vibe to it, you know?
Yeah, I
Um,
don't know who this person is. Takashi Yamazaki. That sounds familiar.
he he did the effects. He wrote it and directed it. Man, that's a lot.
Takashi Yamazaki.
That's a lot, man.
Yeah, he's done a lot of things, visual effects and stuff like that. Oh, he helped with Lupin, the CG Lupin movie.
Okay, okay.
I did some of the Dragon Quest movies stuff, the Parasite live actions, Space Battleship Yamato CG. Done some anime. Done some. He was the director of the opening CG movie in Onimusha 3.
Oh, I know I'm frozen again, so you can keep
Yeah.
talking about
Yeah, no, I
him.
just noticed. But yeah, no, yeah, he was the director of that. So like that's interesting. He's done like some music videos for Bumpa Chicken. So that's cool. But yeah, I'm curious how this movie is gonna go. I still need to watch Shin Godzilla, obviously, but
Yeah, and I'll get that to you.
yeah, someday.
I'll get
It's
to you.
fine. But it, I don't know. I don't know where we're at now with these types of movies, especially because it seems like more and more these kind of movies are going everywhere instead of just being stuck in Japan.
Yeah,
So they might be thinking more in a global market compared to just a Japanese only market now, especially with Shin Godzilla. So,
yeah.
yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, nothing really to go off of just yet, but
I mean, it was.
um,
I feel like in the next couple of weeks we will get a full trailer. But
there he
I
is.
mean, he looked. I mean, look at him. You can't see it because we got it pulled up. It looks awesome. It almost looks like the American one, kind of. But it
Yeah,
also looks like in that scene there, it looks like he's attacking something. Like he's like a train or
yeah,
something.
looks like he's about to like bite down on a train.
Yeah. So that should be interesting there. The only other trailer that I was going to talk about where we're not is Ahsoka. Only because Alex has not seen it, and I know I don't think you probably won't watch it until the show. You gotta want to watch the show, right?
Yeah, I
So
love Rebels, so I want all this to be as much as I can, just to be clean and not see anything.
I thought it was great. It has even been more excited. But yeah, we won't talk about that one just for that reason there. But those, I mean, it was kind of a busy day. Like these just kind of showed up. There was a whole bunch of Xbox trailers today, but a lot of them were ones going on multiple consoles.
Hmm.
Uh, like like different games like Myth Force they showed.
Yeah,
Um, but they're all going on other systems. They're not just going to be an Xbox exclusive
yeah,
there. But yeah, it was a pretty crazy day for them. I'm sure Phil Spencer is going to go to bed tonight and actually get good sleep
yeah.
after the way the day was. Um, but yeah, that's all I really kind of had
I
for
have
the
one more
day.
thing.
Oh, you do? Oh, that's even better.
Yeah. So main thing is because I forgot to talk about it earlier of one of the things I've been watching. But have you turned on your HBO Max and have you watched Super My Adventures with Superman yet?
It's in my list. It seems very like anime-ish,
It
you
is.
know?
There are two episodes. He fights an Ava in like the first episode. Like the I've seen like the character designers and things and the creators talk about it and they're like, yeah, that was inspired by Evangelion. It's like cool, awesome. Um
It's in my list because it's the clips keep showing up on my TikTok, and I'm like, oh, I gotta watch this. Uh,
I there's only two episodes so far. And it's been greenlit for 2 seasons, which is really cool because this feels like a show that's going to be killing itself. um because it's on Adult Swim at midnight. This
oh,
is not an
really?
Adult Swim show. Um I don't know why it's on there. And that's where it premiered as well. It's on next day on Max as well. But I don't know why it's there. So I thankfully it's been greenlit for 2 seasons already and they're already working on season 2. Otherwise, I would have said you're seeing a season of this, maybe a half a season of this show, and then that's it. Um,
Well, and Max is notorious for cutting things early. You
yeah,
know,
but Max was the one who put in the green light for 2 seasons of this, so Max actually saved the day on this one.
Hmm?
But yeah, it's very very anime. He has a magical girl like transformation, like
Oh,
into the
nice.
Superman costume and everything. Um, yeah, it's an origin story, but it also takes place like they're all in their 20s, like they're all interns at the Daily Planet, and it is an awesome show. Like I highly recommend it. Only two episodes right now. Um, Next episode doesn't come out this week; it comes out the week afterwards.
Okay.
But yeah, there it's on Max, so
Well, and
everyone should watch it.
I feel like Max has been notorious for saving shows because, not to bring up Warrior again, but that was only on Cinemax, right?
Yeah,
And when Cinemax was done and it was just HBO Max, they threw it on there and it just overnight blew up. The fact that they got a third season is crazy. The fact that they put the money into doing two more seasons of that, I mean, that just shows you how well it's being received. Um, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I saw it today when I was on Max, and I was like, I kind of want to watch this, and it's good. It's only 2 episodes, so I can like not be super far behind. Um,
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. So I've seen different reactions to this. I've seen some people say, "Well, this is on Adult Swim, and it wasn't dark enough or edgy enough for me, so I stopped watching." Like, okay, which is kind of weird to me. It's like, yeah, why is this on Adult Swim? Um,
yeah.
but I would say so far, this is kind of feels like a old Warner Brothers cartoon
Okay.
show, but more anime inspired. Um, like your kids could watch this. Like any of your kids could watch this. I feel.
Yeah,
Um,
and see, that's it, when it comes to that, that makes life so much easier. Uh, I think I do more gaming on my PC for the fact of just that there. But it's so funny you brought it up because I literally just today added it to my list,
mhm.
and I was like, oh, I kind of want to watch this. I think a clip showed up on TikTok or maybe a trailer, and I was like, that looks really really cool. Well, I'll definitely have to check that one out. On a side note, the only other thing I was gonna say, so I have my favorites on YouTube. Everybody does. Pixel Game Squad hit 100,000 subscribers this week, which is insane because I started watching them when they were the NES Quest
Oh yeah.
or NES Pursuit. Sorry,
Hmm.
NES Pursuit. Quest is the movie.
Yeah.
Um, so I've watched them for a long time, and the fact that they're now there, they are now part owners of the SoCal Game Expo.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's them. So the guys that I can't remember who owned it before, but um they made a joke about, hey, we were thinking of, you know, he goes, would you ever sell it? And he's like, yeah, we would consider it. So they now are part owners of it. And it's in California, but I didn't realize it was such a big show until I watched an episode of somebody at the show. It's a huge show. So it's them. I don't know if you ever watched their podcast they do.
Mm-mm.
But there's a guy that owns a video game store on their podcast, him, and then like some other silent partners. But they, yeah, they're part owners, and so next year when they do it, it's gonna be all them. Good luck. I recently in the last 6 months, I had a conversation with someone that we don't have a Comic Con where we live,
Hmm.
and the closest one's over an hour away, and so this person I was talking to, he's an entrepreneur. He goes, we should do our own Comic Con. And for a brief second, I thought, man, we could totally do this and make it worthwhile. But then I was like, man, it's gonna be so much work. I don't want to do it.
So much money.
Yeah, he was willing to put up like a good percentage of the money, like 90%. So I said I said I would consult him because we don't have anything here
Yeah.
that's worthwhile. I said the thing you're gonna run into is vendors are easy to get. You do it super cheap the first year. I said, but getting people to come that people want to get signatures from, that's a lot harder. Um, I mean, you could probably get Corey Feldman. I know you could probably get him because he ain't doing nothing. Uh,
Yeah.
he would probably do some weird Michael Jackson dancing and some singing. But God, I mean, who would you even be able to get? I will say that last time we had one here that was super small, supposedly Stanley from The Office was here.
Yep.
Did you see him? Did he talk about Bitcoin or
I wasn't there.
okay? I know you thought about doing. I just want to see because he had some weird videos on Bitcoin and stuff like that. He was trying to sell at one point.
I know he still has his pilot or whatever for his one show. I still don't understand how he's able to do that, like legally.
I think his character was great, but it wasn't a supporting character.
Yeah.
He had his moments.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there were moments where he was just hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Michael said he had diabetes because he was always drinking orange juice, or, or the one where he brought his daughter to work, and I think it was Jim that said, "Hey, he's
Is
talking to your daughter."
Ryan.
Yes,
Yeah.
Ryan. When he was like, "Hey, Ryan's been talking to to your daughter. I love the
He's just
line where
yelling at her. She is a child.
have you lost your mind? Because I'll help you find it.
Yeah.
Uh, he's not as good as Creed though.
Yeah.
Creed is the best. Sorry, self tangent there, but uh, yeah, I think that's great that they hit 100,000 subscribers. I think that's insane nowadays.
Yeah.
Also, I should probably talk about a friend of the show. I'll let you say it, but a friend of the show just hit 500 subscribers on YouTube.
That is true. Yeah. Yeah. Is there YouTube just RP Gamer?
Mm. Let me look it up. I think so.
I know they're RP Gamer pretty much everywhere, but like,
Yep, RP Gamer.
okay, but yeah, no, congratulations. That's awesome. I saw that there's a new episode from them recently, about Super Nintendo. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, they.
I don't know if they're listening, but I mean, I would love to be on an episode about Final Fantasy VI, uh, or about
we
Mother 3.
we've had one of their hosts, Patrick, on the show. They're at 549 subscribers, so congratulations to them on that. That's a feat right there. I know
Yeah.
when we hit 200, we were freaking out because we were like, "How did we do that?" Now my son kind of helped with that with his
Yeah.
stuff, but the point is we still
Retain
hit
them.
it, and we're at 214. We've done a good job with that.
Yeah.
If you like the show, though, speaking of that, we would love to get you to subscribe. We're on YouTube. We are on anywhere you get your. We do the video version on Friday. On Wednesday of the week where we record and we release, it is on every podcast place you could think of. We're on Pandora. We're on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple, Google, you name it. We would love for you to hit that subscribe button at those places. It does a lot for us. It helps us out, and it's really kind of like we just like to look at those numbers. We're not a big numbers guys, but it's kind of cool when those go up.
Yeah.
Also, Facebook, Twitter, soon to be on Threads once I do that, and it'll be great. Check us out there. Also, don't forget we have a Discord server, several topics in there. We would love to do one. We lovely want to do one where it's just us answering questions you guys want to talk about.
Yeah.
We would love to do that. So send those questions into any of those resources there. Yeah. Do you have anything else to say, Alex?
I do not, except get at it.
Get at it.